Hey guys, welcome back to the channel, and sorry for the hiatus. I gotta get right to that. Um, Life happens. I got really overwhelmed by the series I was doing. TNA, I guess, is a little too much for me right now. So we're gonna dial it back a little bit. We're jumping into the NWA right here. We're starting off with NWA 77. We're gonna have two nights. Night one will be main evented by Natalia Markova versus Kenzie Paige for the Women's World title. I'll get into the rest of the card in just a second. Night two will be main evented by Silas Mason versus Thom Latimer for the NWA World Heavyweight Championship. Now let me get back to night one's card. I'll just run you down backwards. Natalia Markova versus Kenzie Paige, of course, as I already mentioned. Southern Six versus Country Gentlemen for the U.S. Tag Team titles. Jeremiah Plunkett will be holding an open challenge for the Mid-America title. Mike Mondo versus Mims for the national title. Alan Angels versus Alex Misery versus Cotto Brazil versus Sage Chance in a four-way where the winner will face Alex Taylor for the junior title on night two. Kylie Paige will take on Ruthie J. Burchell will be facing a mystery opponent, with the winner of that match facing Brian Idol for the TV title on night two. That's all for the main card. On the pre-show, we're going to have the debut of PJ Black taking on Tommy Rant. We're going to have Billy Corgan making an announcement, and Big Mama versus Miss Star. Let's get right into the action. And of course, we start off on the pre-show where Big Mama defeats Miss Star in just under 10 minutes by submission. Big Mama outperforming Miss Star here. We had a debut of a referee, Robert King, here, because I started the mod off with one ref. That's not enough. We have a sellout crowd here, 500 people in the Largo Event Center. This match gets us a 31 rating. We move on to Billy Corgan making his announcement. Billy Corgan comes out to introduce the NWA's newest addition to the commentary team. Starting immediately, Alex Kozlov is in the NWA. And he's not done. He has one more big piece of news. He announces that the NWA has just reacquired the rights to a legendary pay-per-view, which will be returning this December. It's Starrcade. 37 rating for that. Alex Kozlov got a very good rating on his gimmick. That's great. And last bit on the pre-show, we have PJ Black defeating Tommy Rant in just about 8 minutes with a 450 splash. PJ Black, of course, outperforming Tommy Rant, getting us a 39 rating. We have another ref debuting here. Who cares? And after the match, the Righteous come walking through the crowd, and they're just clapping away for PJ Black. They step into the ring. PJ looks a little confused, and then he starts grinning, and he turns around, and he starts just stomping out Tommy Rant. The Righteous jump in there, all three just beating him down. His tag team partner, Sage Chance, comes running out to chase off the Righteous and what seems to be their newest member, PJ Black. Vincent and Dutch both got great ratings for their gimmick. Segment rating of 45. And we move on to the main card now, which kicks off with the sound of sirens blaring through the arena as Scott Steiner makes his return to the NWA. He tells Burchell to come on out right now because he's about to unleash an absolute specimen on his ass. Burchell makes his entrance. Scott Steiner proceeds to tell him that with pleasure he is introducing his son, J.J. Steiner, to the NWA, and Burchell will be his first victim. J.J. Steiner getting a big Papa Pump gimmick for rating a very good. Scott Steiner loose cannon gimmick adequate. It's whatever. Scott Steiner, of course, worked the crowd well. Came out looking excellent. That's all amazing. 47 rating. For those of you who don't know, this man right here is J.J. Garrett, but a lot of his gimmick revolves around the fact that he does kind of look like a young Scott Steiner. And so I'm just claiming that he's Scott Steiner's son, and that's going to be the gimmick. And after the match, J.J. Steiner defeats Burchell in about 12 minutes with a J.J. driver. J.J. outperforming Burchell. We'd love to see that. 40 rating. J.J. Steiner will be going on to night 2 to face Brian Idol for the TV title. After this match, we're going to have Kylie Paige versus Ruthie J, where Kylie Paige picks up the win in 13 minutes with a code Kylie. Kylie Paige outperforming Ruthie J. We love that. A 27 rating. That's kind of shit, but whatever. We move on. And after the match, Ruthie J is backstage and she bumps into La Rosa Negra and she says she wants to reunite Caribbean Flow. Rosa is hesitant, but she says she'll give her one more chance to prove herself. If they can team up tomorrow night and they can win, then they'll reunite. And they shake on it. So tomorrow night, Caribbean Flow will reunite for what might be one night only. We'll see. 37 rating. We move on. And in a decent match, Alex Misery picks up the win over Alan Angels, Kodo Brazil, and Sage Chance in about 15 minutes when Alex Misery pinned Kodo Brazil. Alan Angels came out of this with the best rating. We might have to sign him full-time. I just had him in here for this one match. Same with Kodo Brazil. But they were the two best performers in this match, so looks like we're going to lock them in. They're going to be mainstays in this junior division. We got a 46 rating for this match. Alan Angel's frontman gimmick, great. Kodo Brazil cocky gimmick, great. Even more of reasons to keep them around. And we move on. We have some interviews here. Kyle Durden interviewing Silas Mason and Thom Latimer about their big Worlds title match coming up tomorrow night. Thom talks about his journey through the NWA, coming in as a glorified bag boy for Nick Aldis, to then becoming TV champ, to then becoming national champ, to finally becoming the NWA World's Heavyweight Champion. Tomorrow, he will reach exactly 1 year as champion, and he plans on going far past that. Then Silas Mason gets his turn. He discusses how previously he just barely came up short when challenging EC3 for that same title, but he's had success as national champion, and he knows that he can beat Latimer. 41 rating there. We move on. After this, we're looking at Mike Mondo versus Mims, where Mims retains his national title in about 12 and a half minutes. These two don't seem to click, and it made for an awkward bout. I didn't have high hopes for this, but this is on the real card in real life, and so I decided to stick with that. I wanted to keep the card somewhat real with what they did and also put my own twist on it. So it's got a 36 rating. Mike Mondo outperformed Mims. That's not a good thing, because I don't have much for Mike Mondo, and I was hoping Mims was going to be good. But we move on. And after this, the open challenge for the Mid-America title is answered by the returning Willie Mack, the former national heavyweight champion, returns. His Chocolate Thunder gimmick getting a great rating. 27 segment rating. We move on to the match where Willie Mack defeats Jeremiah Plunkett in 13:52 with the Chocolate Thunder driver. Willie Mack 56, outperforming Jeremiah Plunkett by over 20. 52 rating. That's why I had to get that belt off of Jeremiah, because I know he's not performing the way that he should be, and I need to elevate this title. We move on to a backstage segment here where Mike Knox and Trevor Murdoch say that they think it's about time for them to come up with their own team name. You know, tomorrow they're going to be challenging, or they're going to be going against the Immortals, looking to retain their World Tag Team titles. How are you going to be a World Tag Team champion without having an actual team name? So they've thought long and hard about it. Given they're both old school, they're both tough, they decided they're going to call themselves Old School Tough. I didn't see a reason why these two didn't have a name, and it's a simple, easy name. 28 rating. We move on to our semi-main event, Southern Six versus Country Gentlemen, where the Southern Six defeat the Country Gentlemen in just under 17 minutes to win the United States Tag Team titles. The best rating of this match was Alex Taylor, almost a 40. AJ seemed off his game, not too good. Match was a little too long. I forgot this is the NWA, and I need to book short matches. Yikes. That's probably not going to go over well in the main event. Spoiler. 38 rating here. New champs. This means Alex Taylor is now a double champ holding that junior title. And about to have good heat and decent wrestling, Kenzie Paige defeated Natalia Markova in 18-19 by pinfall. Did I just read that whole thing? I don't know why I read that whole thing. Kenzie Paige retains. Kenzie Paige had the better performance, of course, 43 rating, and that closes out night 1 of NWA 77. We got a 43 rating overall. JJ Steiner was used too much. Jeremiah Plunkett was slightly overused. They were both unimportant, so we're going to have that struggle. But it's okay. We're moving on to night 2. And we're back with night 2. I don't want to waste any time. I'm going to run down the match card right now. We have Silas Mason versus Thom Latimer for the World's Heavyweight Championship. The Righteous versus the Slimeballs and Tyler Franks. The Immortals versus Old School Tough for the World Tag Team titles. Burchell and Colby Carino versus the Holy Grail, EC3, and Pretty Boy Smooth. Alex Misery versus Alex Taylor for the Junior Championship. Caribbean Flow versus Jordan Blade and Zeta Zhang. JJ Steiner versus Brian Idol for the TV title. And our first match on the card, Big Mama versus the debuting Shayna Baszler. On the pre-show, we have our 2 newest signees to the junior division, Alan Angels and Cotto Brazil taking on Size Matters, and Baron Von Storm taking on a local talent. Let's get right into the card. And we start off here with a short match on the pre-show. Baron Von Storm defeats Darian Bankston in about 5 minutes with the Eye of the Storm. Baron Von Storm, of course, having the better rating here. This is kind of just a warm-up match. I really wanted to see what Baron still has in him. 27 rating. Another new ref here, Jake Clemens. Baron Von Storm was really off his game. That's unfortunate, but good to know that he can do better than a 35. And our second match on the pre-show here, Size Matters defeat Alan Angels and Cotto Brazil in just under 8 minutes when Sam Stackhouse, I wouldn't say submitted, I'm going to say pinned Cotto Brazil. Alan Angels, of course, had the best rating of the match. Cotto Brazil not too far behind while he was even off his game. 46 rating for this match, and we find out that Size Matters don't work well as a team. Their timing is all over the place. I wish I could say I put together this team, so that's a little odd that they don't work out, but it is what it is. On to the main card, where we start off with Shayna Baszler defeating Big Mama in just under 8 minutes by pinfall with a knockout punch. 53 rating for this, that's great. A 60 rating for Shayna Baszler, that's amazing. She debuted her MMA badass gimmick for a rating of great, and the show this match gets the show off to a strong start. We move along to JJ Steiner versus Brian Idol, where JJ Steiner defeats Brian Idol by submission with a Steiner recliner in just under 14 minutes. JJ Steiner wins the World Television title in only his second match in the NWA. JJ Steiner getting the better performance of this match, that's great. A 41 rating there. And we move along after the match. Classic Steiner promo. JJ and Scott cut into the whole roster after JJ's dominant title win, saying that JJ will take on anyone because he's a genetic freak. And Burchell approaches and says JJ got lucky in his first match, but he won't get so lucky in a few weeks at NWA Pressure Point, our next show. Scott Steiner struggled when going off script. What universe is this? 44 rating. We move along, where we will have Caribbean Flow back together for what might just be one night only. We'll see. And they get the win over Jordan Blade and Zeta Zhang in just about 9 minutes. Ruthie J was the weak link. That's unfortunate, but that's alright. Jordan Blade and Zeta Zhang both debuting with great gimmicks. We love that. A 40 rating for the match. And we just celebrate after. Rosa and Ruthie hug. Caribbean Flow are officially back together. 33 rating. I'm so sorry about the jingling. My cat is going a little crazy right now. After this, we're going to have Alex versus Alex. Alex Misery versus Alex Taylor for the Junior Championship. And Alex Taylor retains in just about 13 minutes, making defense number 11 of the Junior title, having the better performance in the match. We love to see that. 37 rating. And after the match, the country gentlemen come out to stare down Southern Six because Kerry Morton was at ringside for Alex Taylor, and they make it known that they want those titles back, their United States tag team titles, which is then followed up with Alan Angels and Kota Brazil both separately making their entrances and staring down Alex Taylor's junior championship. All eyes are on Alex Taylor right now. 34 rating. We move on to Burchell and Colby Carino versus the Holy Grail, where Burchell and Colby Carino get the win, Colby submitting PB Smooth. Colby had the best performance of this match. We love that. 46 rating. I love Colby. I'm not going to keep that a secret. He's going to do big things in this company. I love him. But after the match, Colby says that it's his goal to become NWA World's Heavyweight Champion by the time 2026 rolls around. That's in only 4 months. And he's been told that just in a few weeks, at NWA Pressure Point, he'll be facing Baron Von Storm in a qualifier match. And he gets cut off by EC3 laying him out. He just lays into him. Punch after punch, strike after strike, when Burchell comes running back into the ring to chase off the Holy Grail. EC3 yells out, "Count me in for that match too, Colby." So it looks like we're going to have a triple threat #1 contender for the NWA World's Heavyweight Championship at NWA Pressure Point. 32 rating. After this, we have our World Tag Team title match, where we watch Old School Tough defeat the Immortals in just about 15 minutes, with Trevor Murdoch pinning Kratos with a leg trap sunset bomb, retaining their titles. And Odinson had the best performance of this match. That's nice. That's a little unexpected. Trevor Murdoch was really off his game. That's probably why. A 40 rating there. And we move on to our semi-main event, The Righteous versus the Slimeballs and Tyler Franks, where the Righteous get a big win here in about 14 and a half minutes, with Vincent pinning Tyler Franks with a time to shine. Dutch had the best performance of this match. That's great. 47 rating. We move along to our main event of the evening, Silas Mason versus Thom Latimer, World's Heavyweight Championship on the line. Who will win? It's Thom Latimer. He retains. In about 15 minutes with a curb stomp, Thom Latimer makes defense number 31 of the NWA World's Heavyweight title. Thom Latimer had the best performance of this match. 44 rating. What more can you really ask for at this stage in the NWA? I hope that one day, by the time maybe we get to like NWA 80 or something, our performances are going to be a little bit higher than a 44 for main event of the biggest show of the year. Overall, we had a 45 rating, which once again is good for the stage that we're at. And I'm going to call it there for this episode. Thank you guys for watching. See you next time.